Gazanica spoke weakly, as he was talking to someone, talking about something he could not handle anymore. It's Emerald Industries. As though whose answer I expected, I winced. It seems a suspicious client came to them. Gazanica grabbed the cigarettes on the table, but he did not have the strength to light one up. He said something like, "You seem to have taken a fatal loss. Do you need capital?" I started picturing someone arrogantly pushing for a deal in a huge head office building. The kind of people who could gather unimaginable amounts of capital, and whose only fear would be inflation. Sitting comfortably on a sofa, smoking a cigar, having an elegant conversation, laughing. As I was picturing the situation, I started to feel like crying. I thought I knew who that person might be. Emerald Industries' fatal loss. Of course Howard Brothers knew it right. Seems so, because they were taking commissions to act on a sale agent for such suspicious securities and insurances. Emerald Industries was, no matter how nice he put it, not a refined company. If they thought there was a profit to be made, they would happily mess around with financial products in a different field. And how much do I have to pay for to cover losses? According to their grasp of the situation, 18 billion at most. Not many companies could handle a protection contract on that scale. It seemed Emerald Industries was the underwriter for almost all protections of a doctor I bought from Howard Brothers. I must say this sum was only for Howard Brothers. There are traces of transactions for other investment banks and they have no idea of their losses. This information has not been made public yet, right? I said it wasn't. That's the real reason why Howard Brothers was astounded too. This means someone tipped them off from the inside. They're sure of it. They're really suspicious right now. If there's an unintentioned person with access to inside information, they could easily leak news blowing everything out of proportion. And they don't have to spread complete lies. It's also possible to give information extremely close to a lie, but with proof, right? I closed my eyes. Without a doubt, Barton was the man going after Emerald Industries, and judging from Barton's investment, preparations such as hiring one or two moles could be regarded as a no-brainer. There's one more reason why Howard Brothers wants to go back to book value. Another reason? Yep, Emerald Industries lost a bet and endured a fatal loss. But someone was controlling all winning bets. Who? In the betting world, the person was in a position to akin to the creator. I don't see what you're getting at. Listen, in the gambling world, which all financial institutions have sunk, Emerald Industries had the most qualified specialists. They still took a fatal loss. Simply put, it's like we have a proof of forecast made up by anyone, but this person are unreliable. It was a logical explanation indeed. And then I understood their shameful plan. If the predictions of the best mathematics were off, it's possible that its huge loss was a miscalculation too. And this creator, who was controlling such a gamble at the Emerald Industries, well, no one had been able to get in contact with him for a while. So they can't contact the person responsible for it. Even Emerald Industries don't have a full grasp of the contents of a gamble. They say they have no idea how many losses have occurred because of it. Imagine what would happen if the information were to leak into a situation. Or people find in this black box. To them, it's probably like a Pandora's box full of disasters that could bring this world to an end. He finally started laughing. Fires will start here and there, will spread everywhere, and horrible coincidences keep happening like this. People start suspecting a conspiracy. That report started everything after all. And all of this for financial institutions which carried on the lunar surface on their backs. The dark shadow targeting Emerald Industries appeared there out of the blue. They're a company ruling over the orbital elevator after all. A lot of people want it, even I can name a few candidates. Like? The American government, for example. Gazanica's words and the way he spat them out left me in a state of shock. Meanwhile, Gazanica continued, looking almost cheerful. There are so many possible reasons. Turning lunar surface for coming space war, example. Don't you think someone of these outdated idiots on Earth would think of? Or, do you think it's too far-fetched? But then we see reactions of every country on Earth to a medical report are not normal. But look like they're seriously thinking about wiping a lunar surface. Do you think that sort of stuff happens only in movies? But remember the history of the 20th century. The developed countries of the time were really doing things like that in South America, Africa or Southern Asia. Only on lunar surface was kept out of it. I was born on a lunar surface, in a very sheltered environment. I've been living and isolated from the core history of Earth. Well, I can understand her anger, but our country is doing well without a government like on a lunar surface, after all. It's the proof of the ineffectiveness of our rule. That's why I began to think the only one responsible for Emerald Industries' gamble was in fact a CIA spy. And he got lost into a dangerous gamble, knowing full well that he would lose. When the day finally comes, another agent sent by the American government will buy Emerald Industries, under a guise of a private citizen, or something like that. And the capital needed to buy Emerald Industries, we would need such a huge sum I can't even fathom how one would gather it. She get even more inclined to say that only a country could pay such a small amount of money. It'd be easy to dismiss this as such an absurd scenario, but if this was Barton we were talking about, I would not be surprised if a big country was behind him. But this hypothesis was far too much fiction for me. If a major country really was behind Barton, he would not have any reason to target my account to gather capital. Above all, it was not natural to think there were only agents in Emerald Industries. If everyone was able to predict that this report would most make the real estate market crumble, that person must also predict that Bull would be put in a difficult situation. Even when Bull was on the verge of bankruptcy, the event could bring the economics of both Earth and the lunar surface to their knees, we did not see an agent in a dark suit sent from a major country. What prevented the lunar surface from crumbling was the sheer greed of the people preparing a coup d'etat at E.J. Rockberg. However, Gazanica's idea was interesting, at least as a thought experiment. If someone actually could provoke a situation like Bull artificially, it would be because you could buy any company for cheap if you pushed it to the brink of bankruptcy first. You say it was an evolved form of the very thing Bart and his henchmen were trying to do with Avalon 4 years ago. Huh? So it struck me. An evolved form of 4 years ago. I reconsidered that thought at once. And if you include Earth, only a few predicted that the real estate market would go down sharply. And ABS and CDO. Those people were Dr. Wallace, myself, and... I finally understood. That was it. It was a possibility, I was sure of it. One thing I have to ask. Yes, what? What's the name of this creator? You think one of your acquaintances might be a spy? After this little joke, Gazanica continued. She's an academic from Earth. Her name is... Anna Haig? Hearing my words, Gazanica looked bewildered, and his smile tightened. You really know her? I turned my eyes away, unable to answer. I was sure of it. That's why Barton hired Hagana. Hagana created the concept upon which ABS is based. She was the subject of fierce approaches from headhunters. Emerald Industries must have trusted her right away. When Hagana proposed a dangerous gamble going on and accumulating risk. She did this because if things were left as they were, maybe Emerald Industries would not buy ABS, or just buy a little. In order to buy Emerald Industries cheaply, Barton had to send his collaborators and make unreasonable gambles. I closed my eyes and moaned. So skillfully planned out, my stomach started to hurt from frustration. What I don't get is, Hagana said she was in it for the same reason. She wanted something that Barton wanted. Their goals were connected. Yet we still don't know what her goals are. I mean, it could be to get back onto the lunar surface, it could be to eat Hal. Perhaps the romantic than me talking. Just what predicting the future meant. Hal, are you right? I answered, groaning. Your conspiracy theory might be true after all. What? I know Anna Haig. I also have an idea who's trying to get Emerald Industries. And those two are working together. Truth springing from lies. Gazanica was opening and closing his mouth like a goldfish lacking oxygen. For a chicken race, we've got Bull and E.J. Rockberg. They're trying it on Emerald Industries. I'm sure. Some would call it insane. Others would say it's an operation backed by calculation. People say the difference between investment and speculation is that you call it investment when it goes well, and speculation when it does not. What they had in common was they required nerves of steel. If ever the news of Emerald Industries would go bankrupt or to break out, it would result in a turmoil with medical reports. It would definitely kill the real estate market, and all financial products with names such as ABS CDO would catch fire. We ignite all the explosives and the essence not only on the lunar surface, but also the whole world would have swallowed because of their greed. Blood and spinal fluid from investors would get everywhere. It's not so much the blood is actually above a shatter. Do you think we can do something about it? We can't let such a dangerous thing happen, right? If we fail, the lunar surface and the whole world could crumble. Maybe we can. What? Gazanica swallowed and then he went on. How? You mean with rotary? No. In fact, there's a chance I could obtain some equivalent to a huge loss of Emerald Industries that has to pay. His mouth was wide open and he looked at me astonished. It meant I was participating in a bet that could make the lunar surface crumble. They say they want to cancel the transaction contract. Maybe a large part of Emerald Industries' loss could be made void. What do you mean, maybe? If you are a contractor, you can avoid it if you want to, right? Or do you mean Emerald Industries wants to pay this loss no matter what? No. What if Barton already anticipated all of this when he hired Hagana? There's no point thinking about it. No one knew much about what was happening by chance, or was planned. It sounded like a joke, but there's a thing investment banks had to take into account when hiring a brilliant trader. That thing was luck. I gave a bet to the very person who was going after Emerald Industries. Of my own free will, of course, we made a deal. I did not say that it was taken away from me. It was a contract and we certainly made a deal. But this isn't the same as quibbling over a few mortals paying for dinner. I really don't understand your world. Even I don't completely understand. You think it's the same as the depth of a man's greed? You cannot measure it. But if that's true, what will we do? Is there a way? I asked Stacia about the legal stuff, however, with a completely different perspective, we might be able to stop his plan. How? I spoke trying to hide my lack of confidence. Anna Haig is an old friend of mine. There's a high probability Hagana knew Barton's objective. Maybe she also knew why he was going after Emerald Industries. This is because I didn't think she was doing it for her money. She also didn't seem to have been fed into it. If I was right, maybe Hagana's reasons for helping Barton had something to do with his motives for going after Emerald Industries. If we knew Barton's objective, we'll be able to negotiate with him. If you know people's true motives, you can propose an alternative. But what if it fails? I definitely failed with Chris. Then, turn the rotary on. Well, we're in a countdown to lunar surface introduction anyway. Use as a threat if needed. I shook my shoulders a little. If it were to work, it would be like setting a chicken race on each other. Heh, I see. Understood. I'll do all I can, of course. Danica said this with a look at his face like he'd flies swimming in his stomach. The only thing I can do now is push for a return to bank value. Hiding the losses. I let a few seconds pass, but I decided quickly. I won't oppose how you deal with a fair market value problem, but you certainly racked your brains enough for the two of us. Thank you for saying that. I will tell them that here on lunar surface agreed with me. Understood. Find out Barton's objective. Propose the alternative, and the contract with Emerald Industries cancelled. If I could pull it off, then Emerald Industries wouldn't be able to avoid a loss over 10 billion moors. That itself would be worth way more than 10 billion. We could not afford even the slimmest possibility of Emerald Industries going bankrupt. Even $1 trillion would not be enough to clean up the mess caused by the panic it would surely provoke. It was safe to assume that if things caught fire, it was all over. I couldn't fail. But I remembered the way Hagana looked, and I started feeling discouraged. What if I extracted information of Barton from her eyes? Which looked like we'd lost interest in everything. I doubted she'd give up that information easily. So there's a new hurdle to clear. In order to get information on Barton, I had to give her something of equal value. But what could I give her? Even paying her 30 or 40 billion would be useless. I didn't think she'd yield to violence, and she wouldn't listen if I begged. Maybe she asked Risa for advice. Of course I wanted to solve the problem myself, but I was not allowed to fail, or use every single tool at my disposal. Kazanika left the room. As I was heading towards the hotel, I sent Risa a message, and she replied almost immediately. But I stopped walking as soon as I saw its content. Sorry, I don't think I'll be able to help you. I wasn't able to tell you this yesterday, but Hagana refused to see me. Hagana refused to see Risa? I couldn't understand why. Hagana hated me, not Risa. What was the meaning of this? The message was not finished. I gave and went home, but just then a person from the hotel gave me an envelope. It was from Hagana, and inside... a ticket for the orbital elevator? One last word. Sorry. Just what was Hagana thinking? That was the end of Risa's message. An unspeakable fear started growing inside of me. We were in the very place where the lunar surface's fate would be decided. Hagana was right in the middle of it. Gave Risa a ticket to the elevator. It was like she was predicting something. It could only mean that... she really thinks the lunar surface will crumble? Hagana, she thinks we're doomed. We'll find out why next time.